Yo, Adam Saxon with GuideCube, and in this video, we're going to look at the different ways that we can work with Excel. There's so many ways, and how do you know what to do and where it goes? Let's find out. Finding us for the first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the videos from both Patrick and this guy. Chances are you're working with Excel because most people work with Excel. Now you've heard of this Power BI thing and you want to figure out what's the best way to work with Excel with Power BI. And I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of options. You're gonna have to figure out, do I wanna stay in Excel or do I just wanna work with my data inside of Power BI and leave it in Power BI? And so let me walk you through the different options that you have depending on which option you wanna go with. All right, enough of all this talking. You know, we like to do it here on GuideCube. Let's do what? Let's head over to my computer. You may be working with a couple different options inside of Excel. So you could be using Power Pivot, Power Query, or you could just have straight data inside of Excel. So let's see what our options are. So if I go to File, let's start off with this Import option. And down below, you'll see Import Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View. So this is the option if you have an Excel workbook, you're using Power Query and or an actual Power Pivot data model inside of Excel. And by the way, let me know in the comments if you're actually using Power Pivot inside of Excel. Been a while since I've heard people reference it. And you'll see that I've got a couple different options here. So this actually has a model inside of my worksheet. Let me go ahead and hit open. And it's going to say it wants to import Excel workbook content. It's not going to work directly with the Excel workspace, but it's going to keep that data and move it all into Power BI desktop. So let's go ahead and hit start. And we'll see a couple things here. One, it brought over the Power Query queries. It actually brought over the data model tables that were inside of Power Pivot. There were no KPI measures and there were no Power View sheets. Also, let me know in the comments if you actually know what Power View is and you've actually used it. So this is all there. If we hit close, we can actually see our data here. If we go to our data model, we can see that we've got relationships and we've got our data here. So that took the Power Pivot model and it migrated it to Power BI Desktop. So now everything's in Power BI Desktop, which means we're disconnected from that Excel worksheet. Power BI now is its own thing over in this corner. And so anything you do in Excel doesn't translate to the Power BI Desktop file. All right, cool. But what if I just have a regular Excel workbook? We got a couple options. One, you can hit this import data from Excel, or we could go to get data, Excel workbook, and go through the normal options. So I can go through Power Query, I can transform it, and then I can bring it in my data model. This is connected to the Excel workbook. So if you go to refresh your data, it's gonna go pull the latest data from that Excel workbook itself. And so you may need a gateway to do that if it's sitting on premises. If it's in the cloud, like OneDrive for Business or SharePoint Online, then it should just be able to connect to that directly and pull that data. So in this option, we're not going through that import step. We're just getting data. We're treating Excel as a data source in this case. So that's Power BI Desktop, but what are our options for getting our Excel files working with the Power BI service? So if I'm in an actual Excel workbook, I've got some options here as well. So if I go to File, there's going to be an option here that says Publish. And from here, I can publish to Power BI. You're going to have two options. Uploading your workbook to Power BI. So if you want to use Excel Online inside of Power BI, this is the option you're going to use. The other option, export workbook data to Power BI, is actually going to create a data set inside of Power BI. And so this will, again, be that disconnected experience with Excel. You can also choose which workspace you want to go to. So if I choose this, I hit upload, I will see the workbook listed in my workspace inside of Power BI. One thing to note here is if your Excel file is sitting in OneDrive for Business or SharePoint Online, it won't work going to a defined workspace. It will only go to your My Workspace. So if you want it to go to a specific workspace, you're going to have this file sitting on your drive. This is specific to the publish option inside of Excel itself. So if we come to Power BI Service, this has changed up a little bit from what you may remember a while back. And so there's a couple options now. We have new and then we have upload. The new option is going to be, I want to create a data set or I want to create some artifact in Power BI. So this could be a report, it could be a data set, it could be a data, those are artifacts inside of Power BI. And if we go this option with Excel, it's going to try and create a data set off of that Excel workbook. It'll create a new artifact. It won't know anything about the Excel file after that, but you're going to get your starting point with a Power BI data set. So if we go to upload a file, we'll come into here, we'll say Excel, go into my Excel files, and here we can pick which options we want. So let me just go ahead and pick this option. We'll say import, bam. There's our file. We can see our actual items that are here. So this is our Power BI data set at this point. And we can see that the data set is here. So this is not bound to that Excel workbook anymore. Now let's go back and see what happens if we do this with that Excel workbook that has the Power Pivot model inside of it. This file, it doesn't have any actual worksheets in it. The worksheets are blank. All it's got is that Power Pivot model, and it's got some Power Query options in it as well. And we can see here the same thing. This is actually the defined model that was in the Power Pivot. So it's cleaned up a little bit, and we can see all of these items inside. So it actually brought that Power Pivot model and created a data set off of that. Again, we're disconnected from that Excel workbook, and we can see these items here. Now, what does upload do? Let's go to OneDrive for Business, and I want to see, okay, my Excel workbook too. Let's go ahead and upload this. You'll see it actually created the workbook. So if I click on here, this is the Excel online experience. And so if I just pointed to an Excel workbook, I still want to keep that Excel online experience. I don't want it to convert to a Power BI data set. And we can see here the files here. I've got all my worksheet tabs. Everything looks great. And this was actually generated from Power Query. Now, one thing I noticed here is that if we do go and pull this model too, so this actually has the worksheets plus the model. If it has Power Query or Power Pivot items inside and I try and do this Excel online experience, this actually will fail. And I'm not sure if that's going to be fixed at some point or if this is expected behavior, but it will actually fail. Also, if I tried to do that publish to Power BI, and I choose something that has the Power Pivot model or Power Query options inside of it, that actually fails as well. So if you do have that Power Pivot model, you're going to need to go through actually importing that into a Power BI data set. And let me know in the comments also, are you using Excel Online experience inside of the Power BI service? I don't really come across that with folks mentioning it, or maybe you didn't even know that that was even an option. One last thing I want to talk about here, again, we can bring it full circle. So we imported this AdventureWorks model, which was a Power Pivot model in Excel. It's disconnected from Excel, but now we can come back and then we can say, analyze in Excel. And that'll create the file. We can open the Excel in the web. Yep. And now this is connected to my Power BI data set. And so we've gone full circle. We can create pivot tables with that data set that originally came from Excel. It's kind of like Inception, but it all works, right? Or we could go back into Excel, go to get data and pull it from a Power BI data set directly, right? And you can work with Excel in those options. So there are a lot of different ways you can work with Excel to get the most out of Power BI. Was this video helpful for you? Let me know in the comments, which options do you end up using? How do you work with Excel? I want to know in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to hit that big thumbs up button, smash it if you so desire. If it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button. And as always, from both Patrick and myself, thank you so much for watching. Keep being awesome, and we'll see you in the next video.